not another shoot and see do-it-yourself video. Yeah, but this one is a little bit different than what you've seen so far. And there is our basic shoot and see piece. Okay, now these are going to be a little bit different than what you've seen so far, because most people, all they're showing is just a little thing stuck on here, or they take the nickel or quarter or whatever, put a screw onto it, lay it down, and then spray them. As you can see, I don't do that. So let me show you what you're going to need to do what we're going to do. The first thing is a metal ruler, a steel ruler. Okay, this one happens to be 18, and I would suggest that you use an 18. You can use a 12 if you want, but an 18 will work better, and you'll see why. Next thing you're going to need are some Sharpie pens. They're kind of hard to see there. Anyway, that's them. And those are also essential. Okay? And then you're going to need a large compass like this. This is a scribe compass, and you can buy these at online several places, or you can get it at Harbor Freight if there's one in your area. They're not expensive. They're about $10, so they come in very handy. You can make very large circles with them. Now, the only problem with this compass is right here is where the hole is for the pencil, and the only problem with it is that it only fits a pencil. It won't fit the Sharpie, so you have to tape the Sharpie to the thing, but it's very solid. It's not going to come loose. Okay? Now, the first thing you have to do is find the middle of the paper, if that's what you want to do. So what you do is you take your steel rule, and you go corner to corner. You draw a little line with a pencil. Do the same thing the other way. Draw the line with the pencil, and that will give you the center of your target. Now, you can also, before you even do this, is the paper that you're going to slide into the sleeve. You can do that with the X, or you can put a dot in the middle of it, whatever you want to do, however you want to do it. And then once you put it in the sleeve, before you paint it, you poke a hole in it with the compass. That way the hole is always there, and you always know where center is. Okay? Now, from that point, we will take our compass and we will stretch it out. I have a hole in here somewhere, if I can find it. I don't see it right offhand. I lost it. So much for that. Anyway, I'm going to sit down and take the top off the pen, and you can see that it's almost right there at the same as the point. It just barely goes by it. The nice thing about this is you don't have to spend a lot of, you don't have to put a lot of pressure on it. Now, there's my middle, right there. Okay, you can adjust this to whatever size you want, or you can actually go onto the ruler and make the size. So let's use the ruler here, and we want to make this one 7 inches in diameter, so we'll go to 3.5 right there. Take the ruler back off, find the hole again, find the middle again, right there, and we'll draw. You don't have to put a lot of pressure on it, just let it do it, just let the weight of the pen draw for you, and draw your target. Okay, and that takes care of that. Now you want 1/2 inch circles, so you come back here. Remember that you're going to do a 1/2 inch on both sides, so you have to go from 3.5 to 2.5 and do it again. Right on the center. Now this is going to be 1 inch. Well, yeah, maybe I messed up here. So let's go back and do it to 3 inches. Yeah, what am I thinking? That's what happens when you get old like me. And now you have your 1/2 inch ring. Draw another one. Go to 2.5. Draw the next one. Go to 2. And just keep doing this all the way down, okay? I'm sorry I'm not talking. I'm not a very talkative person, but anyway, just keep doing this all the way down. Then you get down to the 1/2 inch, which will give you a 1-inch diameter bullseye. Like that. Okay. Don't forget the cap. Put the cap back on. Snap it on tight. Now, take up one of your other gold ones, and what we're going to do now is draw crosshairs. Okay? Now you can just eyeball this. It doesn't have to be exactly straight, but if you want to, you can measure everything out and do it exactly straight. We'll draw the crosshair across here. If I can get this thing to draw. There's one. And 2. Now this pen is not working very well. Let's put it away and use a different one. Okay. That's better. Don't press hard, because if you do, all it'll do is mess up, okay? There you go. Now that it's done, let's take a look inside. As you can see, it's yellow paper. And what I want to talk about here right now for a minute, leaving it right there, is the cost. Now, I don't do a lot of single targets like this, but I wanted to do a large one so you could see it. And go from there. You can use white cardstock. I use cardstock for everything. 2 reasons. Number one, it gives a cleaner hole, especially if you're like me and you shoot 177 caliber air gun. And it's a lot cheaper than the colored paper. Okay, the neon paper, or whatever you want to call it, Astro Bright, that you can pick up anywhere. I use the cardstock, the white cardstock, at 125 or 110 pounds, and it's a lot cheaper. Okay, I buy it in reams of 500. Okay, let's get rid of that one. We'll bring in another one that has white paper. Okay, so let's set this one down. Now, because of the cost of the sheets, of the sheet protectors, and you can buy them, I use the cheapest I can find, and I can't remember what I paid for them anymore. I make hundreds of these things for other people, and I sell them at a flea market. Anyway, what I wanted to get to was, you can get these pretty cheap. The thinner they are, the better they are. You can buy them in boxes of 50 or 100 or whatever. I buy them by the case, so I get a lot of them. And I just go from there. But here's the thing, because they are expensive and the cost per target gets expensive, I usually make multiple targets. So what we're going to do here is show you a large target. Let's go over here a little ways, put it on the 1, and we're at 11.5 on these, and that's a little bit over 11, so let's take it down. We'll go to 11 1/8 there. Now, we have 11 inches. If we go 5.5, okay, that cuts it in half. So we're going to put one at the half mark here, a little dot. We'll go over here and do the same thing. I can get it straight here. Come on. There we go. 5.5 here. And we'll draw a line across that. Something's not right here. What did I do? At 5.5. That looks better. Draw a line across it. This is that one that's bad. I should just throw it away. Draw a line across it that way. Now we can take that and cut those two in half. So at 5.25, or at 5.5, we have 2 3/4. So let's go 2 3/4 on each one. One there. One there. And we'll go 2 3/4 on the top. One there. Everything keeps getting in the way. And one there. Okay, now we'll draw those lines. I'm not going to do the whole thing, but I'm just showing you how to lay it out. Okay, now we have across here, we have 8.5. Don't worry about what's out here, just go the 8.5 because that's where the paper is. That's 4 1/4 and 4 1/4. Now we want to cut that in half, which is 2 1/8 and 2 1/8. And 2 1/8 up here, and 2 1/8 again. Just move it over to an even number, and then you can go with 6 1/8. Okay. Now we have that. So we draw the lines here. Down the middle. And here. Okay, now we have that. Alright, now we just go back in and we can put 4 targets on the one. So we end up with 4 targets, maybe 5. Okay, these I don't usually spend a lot of time on because I don't put too many shots in each one, usually only 3 or 4. So you can end up with 12 or 14 shots. But now I just eyeball these. Okay, bring it into where it just leaves enough room, like there, so that the 2 targets are separated, and draw. Okay. They don't have to be exact. Okay, and we end up with 4 targets on one sheet. Then we can just go back in, do them one at a time, and so they're all consistent. Start with one and make the same circle on all of them. That way you don't get them all different. Unless you want them different, then that's up to you. But I do them this way. Yeah, I like to do them this way because it just gives you more of a realistic look at, you get the crosshairs and everything instead of just a little colored spot in the middle of the page. Yeah, it takes time, but after you, and I'm taking longer than I normally would because I'm showing it on video. But normally I just crank these things out left and right. Okay. Then when you get it down small enough, the circle that you're drawing, and these are probably not quite small enough yet, but I'll show you what we're going to do then, probably the next one. And like I say, people think that the, most of the videos I've seen on this, and I'm sure you've probably seen them all too, they use that Astro Bright because it gives a nice bright impact splatter, I guess is a good way to put it. But as you're going to see a little bit later on, white works just as well and it's less expensive. Okay, almost done here. And then there's something else we can do with them, something else you can do to them. And I'll show you that here in just a minute. Once we get down, get all this done, we can open it back up a little bit, go right in the middle, and we'll put one in the middle, right about there. Okay, and let's pull in a little bit on that one too, right about there. Okay, now we've got that one, and it's pretty well done, except for, I'm going to show one other thing here. It can be done. They have these Avery color-coded labels. They're circular. I buy them in a very thick pack because, like I say, I do a lot of these. And just take one out and it's got different colors on it. You can see this one's already been used a little bit. And I'm going to use a red or yellow one because they show up pretty well. Okay. Now, what you do is you want to load it, you want to get it all situated right smack dab in the center. Just like that. And you can do it to all the targets if you want to. I'm just going to leave it at that one. Now, there's a problem with this. Okay? I want to make sure you understand this. That a lot of times when you're shooting at these, you hit them on the edge somewhere, and it will pop off because the paint's underneath it, and it'll pop the paint right off along with the label. But that's one way that I do it. A lot of times I'll just make one of these with a whole bunch of stickers on it. I don't draw any lines on it. I'll maybe draw crosshairs and then go from there. Okay? Now that we have that one done, we'll put it aside. And now you're going to see something a little bit different than what you normally see. And this is white, okay? These work just as well as anything else. The only difference is inside is black paper. These work very, very well. You do the same thing, you can draw on them, you do whatever you want. And it's just like doing the black ones, okay? The nice thing about it is you get much sharper lines, they're much more defined, and you have to use a different kind of Sharpie or a different kind of pen. I use the Expo Vis-A-Vis, I think you can see that. The Expo Vis-A-Vis wet erase, okay? And the reason I use these is because it draws better on the white paint, okay? Actually, it draws better in any color paint. And I'm not going to go into that. I'll finish these up later. Now, let's go on and take a look at some of the ones that I've done in the past. Here's another one. Here's one like that. I did the same thing like I did with the other one, but these are just a little bit smaller. Or a larger one like that again. Okay? Now, this one is made with the, it's not the tape. It's just a white background, or white paper. And I use the carpet protector. You can buy it in big rolls, and you can roll it out and stick these on and then cut them off. It's a lot of trouble, a lot of work, and so that's why I went to the sheet protectors. It's just faster. These work better. You don't get a lot of wrinkles. You can see there's a lot of wrinkles in here. You don't get any of that. They're nice and smooth. You see no wrinkles except for where it's loose, but when they're hanging like that, there's no wrinkles in them. They're just a lot better. Okay? Now, let's take a look at some of the targets I've already shot up. You can see what these look like. Set this aside. And we were talking about the white versus the black. And I want you to see the difference between the two, okay? Here's the white one. Now look how well those stand out, okay? Those stand out very, very well. You can see them all. You know exactly where all the shots are. Let me bring it up a little bit closer here, and you can see it a little bit better. You can see how they really stand out, okay? And that's why I do more white than I do black nowadays. Okay, like I say, they're easier to draw. You can see everything in them easier. It's just a better way to go. And here you can really see the wrinkles real well. See the wrinkles? And that's what happens when you use the either tape, anything with adhesive on it, because the paint reacts with the adhesive and messes everything up. Okay, so that's that. Now, you can also, on the black, do it with the white. And there you can see the white. This is a white paper with the black. There's a whole bunch of little ones on here. It's another way of doing them. And here you can really see the white. Okay? I mean, it shows up real well. It really splatters well. So there's no reason to use the expensive paper or the cardstock, the Astra Brights like this. There's no reason to do that. You don't need it. This is just another target that I designed. Now I have another video on here about different kinds of targets that I've drawn. Like I say, I'm an artist, which is why I'm called Air Gun Artist, not because I'm an artist with an air gun. I just started actually. And when I'm sitting home at night, I don't watch a lot of TV, as I said in the other video as well. So I sit there at the computer and I draw targets. Anyway, go take a look at that one, and there's a couple of surprises on there for you if you so desire, and I'm just kind of let it go at that. So I guess that'll do it for this one, and I've got another video coming out a little bit later on. I have a Benjamin Trail NP that I've figured out a way to bore sight, so you might want to look at that one too. And it's actually quite easy to do, and it's for people that have a Benjamin Trail NP, and that one is kind of neat. It took me a while to figure it out, but I finally did. Okay, anyway, that's the end of this one. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.